Here's everything I have learned as an autistic person, moving through the world, not knowing that they're autistic, and making loads and loads of mistakes, but learning a lot about psychology and human behavior along the way. So here's some dating advice. Number one is stop ignoring the red flags. The red flags are there because the person has personal issues, and you are ignoring them because you have personal issues. You're insecure, and so you think that somebody validating you from the external because they want to fuck you is somehow more important than your personal safety, somehow more important than your personal happiness, somehow more important than your own self-esteem. And external validation is never more important than self-esteem. So it's really vital that you don't ignore those red flags that make you feel worse in the long run, but better in the short term because somebody wants to fuck you. And that is the only reason, by the way. They don't actually think that you're a good person. They don't actually think you're amazing. They don't actually want to be with you and marry you and settle down with you. They just want to fuck you. And to want to fuck you doesn't mean very much, particularly when you're a woman, because men will literally fuck an animal. So, sorry to go there. So that's not a compliment, okay? That's not a compliment. Number two, your self-worth should not be made off of other people's thoughts about you. Your self-worth is inherent. I'll say that again. Your self-worth is inherent. You are good enough just because you're a human being and you're here and you're existing. Good enough for what? That's up to you to decide. But if you allow the world to decide what you're good enough for, you will probably be put into systems that are narcissistic, toxic, and people-pleasing, because other people will see you as good enough to serve them instead of you being good enough to serve yourself, which is exactly what you're supposed to be doing, baby girl. Number three, in your 20s, teens, 20s, mid-20s, even late 20s, stop focusing on trying to find a man. It's not fucking important, okay? They're not fucking important for like the first fucking 2 decades, if not 3 decades of your life. In your 19s, 20s, 30s, early 30s, you should really be focusing on yourself and your career and your life. And if a good man happens to pop along at that point, but by the way, men are not good before the age of like 30 because their brains are not just, no, they're so immature and so useless. There's really not much point in hooking yourself up to one of them because they're only going to hold you back. They're only going to hold you back because often when we're at that age, we are not mentally capable of choosing a good man, and so we choose shit men because of what society teaches us, and then we have to deal with the issues of having to deal with these morons alongside trying to actually like deal with our own habits and our own behaviors and our own self-care. So I would really recommend avoiding all the morons, avoid all the dick sand, and just focus on yourself, because at this point you will have put in the boundaries and the self-esteem and the mental health things to ensure that the guy that you do pick is a good one. And by the time you're getting towards 30, they'll have done the work, you'll have done the work, and both of you will be able to attract in one that's worth being with. And just as a caveat, this isn't an all men are shit conversation. This is that all people are shit before they've done the work. And if you're like in your 20s or in your 19s, trust me, none of you are doing your work. And number three, the friends that you party with and go out with and club with are probably not actually your real friends. They enjoy the fact that you also join in their bad behaviours of going out partying too much and misbehaving. Now, when the shit hits the fan, that's when you really find out who your real friends are. And I can promise you that 95% of the people that you go out and party with will not be there when the shit hits the fan. If you've got good friends and they don't want to go out with you and they don't want to do that sort of stuff, then probably try and spend time with those people doing things that are healthy, like hiking or going to the park or feeding the ducks or something a little less late night and a little bit less, a little bit more sober. Because ultimately those are the friends that will stick with you through the thick and the thin. And the ones that you party with that are there for the good times, they're not there for the bad times. So focus on the friends that really care about you. Anyway, this is what I'm thinking about this morning. If you like this sort of shit, give me a follow. Bye.